What's going on, everybody? Alex with you here again. Great to see everybody back. Some people have recently commented on how peaceful some of these videos can be, and I certainly am not trying to put people to sleep, but my voice can be calming as far as what I've heard people say before. It's not intentional that I'm doing this, but it is what it is. Certainly for my profession as a dentist, it's always nice to have a calming voice, something that people can feel reassured about. You know, just when you walk in and people are already stressed out and don't know what's going to happen, and just it's always nice to have a nice calming presence. It just helps. More and more so recently, I feel like some of the people who also watch my channel have found the opportunity and the time to actually make channels of their own, where they are able to show us chess sets and chess accessories similar to the way that I do on this channel. And I find that to be wonderful. People out there are sharing and communicating and connecting with others in this wonderful way. YouTube and other social media, it's just wonderful to see that so many people are sharing things, and something that maybe 20 years ago we couldn't even have conceived of. Now it's so easy for us to be able to share information like this with each other, and I find that to be wonderful. Chess puzzles, in my opinion, are a great way to get into chess for anybody who has not played before, or for people who have already played but have not been playing games in a while. I feel like chess puzzles is a great way to get your mind into a mode of chess without all the stress of having to worry about winning, losing, opponents, stronger or weaker chess players. Chess puzzles takes all that away from us, and it just allows us to have the essence of what these positions or what these tactical maneuvers are, and it's so wonderful. I love doing chess puzzles. I've done enough of them to realize just how addicting they can be. Some people might disagree with me, but I feel like when you're just simply playing games, whether it's online or whether you're playing in tournament games, there's always that element of, well, you know, I'm going to play so that I'd win. And there's a lot of emphasis on that, especially with younger players. You start the game, and if you play hard and you really take the time, you kind of have an expectation you're gonna want to win, and when you win, that's great. When you lose, you kind of feel like you've maybe failed in a way, because your entire focus of the games was mainly, hey, I want to win this game, and so if you lose, you kind of feel out of it. Whereas when I've played a lot of chess puzzles and then I got back into playing actual games, to me, games were so much richer in just being able to see in every turn the opportunities and the tactical elements, and just not really even worrying so much about winning or losing. A lot of times I would play with some of my friends and I would lose in the end, but I would say that was a wonderful game. That game had so many nuances, so many opportunities that just made it rich and interesting. And I feel like if I hadn't had the experience of all the chess puzzles that I've played, I wouldn't feel that way. I would still be focused on whether I win or lose. When I used to play in tournaments, I was very competitive. I would win a lot of games. I would play in, you know, I wouldn't play in the open. I would play in like the under 1600 or so, and I would always try to come in first. I would do my best and think the hardest, but to me at that time, it was all about winning or losing, you know, and I wanted to win no matter what. When you're doing chess puzzles, I feel like it just gives you like a more enriched appreciation of chess in general. And one of the things that I realized after doing so many chess puzzles is I didn't memorize openings, I didn't memorize positions, and a lot of my friends who did in fact memorize a lot of the you know, intricate openings, yeah, I would probably end up maybe blundering in the beginning, because they would have memorized all the alternative moves and all the little nuances, and I would say, you got me there, yeah, that was great. And they would say, this is a so-and-so opening and you fell for that, you know, the weaker alternative. And I would say, Okay, cool, because I don't take the time to memorize. I may have at some point um, been learning some of the openings, but it's great. It's great, of course, to know the openings, but to me, it's just the richness of every single position. Because when you're memorizing positions, when you're memorizing openings, you can get into the mode where you're playing from memory, essentially, and you're not really taking what's going on right here, right now. You're just sort of like, okay, the Ruy Lopez or whatever, this is our next move, and this would be the better move. And I've played against people who literally memorized so many openings in so many positions. And some older people I know, that you play against them and then they're like, oh, you took the alternative route to this. Okay, then I'm gonna, are you actually watching what's going on? Or are you just going by memory? Some of you guys might disagree with me, of course, on these elements, but that's how I feel. And I feel like I would strongly recommend to every one of you guys, if you have the time, to do some chess puzzles. I feel like that would be very helpful in just being able to just have a better appreciation for chess in general. But for most of my friends out here, it's you guys have already played chess puzzles, I'm sure. It is another lovely day out. I think it's about 80 degrees or so, and I've managed to find a little bit of time to make my way out to this park after work. Last time I came here, I believe, the cicadas were so loud that I opened the car door. I stood there for a second, and I just got back in the car and left. And that was when they had the cicada swarms of everything. It was just... Before I get started with showing you guys what I brought for you today, I just wanted to take the time and say how appreciative I am of every one of you guys who is watching my channel and commenting and leaving those likes, and also all the people who have already subscribed. It means a lot to me in terms of motivating me to take my time and getting out there and filming. You guys are probably recognizing this bag from one of my previous videos where I talked a little bit about that walnut folding board. This is actually a really quite a nice bag. I feel like a lot of times when I'm coming out to parks and places, instead of taking that big board that I've shown you guys so many times, a lot of times nowadays I'm choosing to take this folded board just because it's so convenient, and I throw it in the back of my car, and I am safe, feeling that it's not gonna get damaged or anything like that. So I feel like this is a great little bag, and a lot of stuff fits in here. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I got today. So you have already seen this board before. Today I wanted to take the time to share with you guys a purchase of yet another very inexpensive chess set from Chessbazaar this time. It's funny, the thing about Chessbazaar is kind of quirky, is whenever you buy a chess set from Chessbazaar, no matter how expensive or inexpensive the chess set is, generally when you get the set back, you get it with how to play chess booklet. So even if you end up ordering like a $500 chess set, you'll still get a how to play chess with a individual how to move pieces. It's always funny to see that they're assuming that you need that, but it is what it is. Anyway, so let me just show you guys a little inexpensive chess set that I bought a couple of weeks ago. I think this was maybe purchased about a month ago from Chessbazaar. This is just a very inexpensive small plastic chess set with a little bit of weight inside of it. What attracted me to this particular set when I wanted to buy something is just the overall color. Instead of the usual black for the dark pieces, we are looking at the sort of like a coffee-like look, whereas the light pieces are not like super bright light, and then the dark pieces are kind of a brown color. So it really does it makes it look like a coffee scene. And I felt when I saw the pictures for this particular set, I felt like overall it was a comfortable look. One of those chess sets that's not wooden. It's not really meant to look like wood, but even when you recognize the fact that it's a plastic set, it feels quite nice. and it looks very comfortable, looks very like homey. So that's one of the things that initially attracted me to this particular set. As you can see here, the pieces aren't super big, even though this would be a tournament-sized chess set. Most of the pieces here are not very big. As you can see, the dark colors aren't necessarily fully black, and the light colors aren't super bright either. So it kind of has that overall like a coffee-like appearance. The underside of these pieces, as you can see here, has a green felt. The felt isn't particularly thick. That is one of the things that I'm always for, thicker felt if possible. Look at all these little flies over here. It's pretty cool. I guess they love the chess pieces, huh? That is one of the things that I always love with some of the more expensive chess sets. You get a nicer, thicker green felt, and I'm always for, if I had to choose felt for my pieces, I would always opt for a thicker felt. But even with this felt, it's still quite nice and quite playable. The pieces themselves are not super heavy, so even though it seems like they're weighted inside, including the pawns, they're not like triple weighted or anything like that. One of the things that I wish I would have seen less of, as you could tell because of this set being plastic, a lot of the seams on the side where the pieces have been stamped together are quite apparent. That is probably one of the things, and that you can see that on the rooks as well. The seam is there. I kind of wish that the seam would be a little bit less noticeable. In my quad-weighted chess set video that I did before, I did remark on the fact that the seams were a little bit less noticeable there. So I don't really necessarily think it's hard to make a plastic set without seams being too noticeable. I think all it really takes is just having to polish the set afterwards and just sort of eliminate these seams. But what do you guys think about this particular set? I like it. I think it looks really nice. I think even these little flies here that keep landing on the pieces, I think they approve of this particular set. Let me know, what do you think? I think this particular set was maybe like $20. I mean, it wasn't really all that pricey. I'll leave you guys a link below and let you guys know. Here's the Dark King. As you could see, also very slender body overall over here, not super thick, not very heavy. I think it's hollow plastic inside, but they did put a little weight on the bottom. Here's how it compares to the light king here. Here we can see the queens, both light and dark, and the fly is going to land on top of the light queen. Okay, cool. Also very slender, but overall all these pieces are still a really nice size as far as just being able to play. None of the pieces feel too small. Here we see the knights. The knights are not super elaborate. They're kind of on the small side when compared to some of the other knights that have in some of my other collections. The overall shape of the knights is kind of conservative. Bishops with a fairly long cut on the top, but not super broad. Kind of a regular shape bishops. You could see here all the pieces have a really nice broad base to them, so these are quite nice too, I feel like. Here are the rooks. The rooks are actually kind of small on the small side. That is one of the things, maybe if the rooks were a little bit bigger, I would like that. Lastly, we have the pawns. You could see the pawns are made with a fairly normal top ball, a pretty normal size with this little skirt thing, and then this part is a little bit thinner than some of the other pawns I have, and then the base is still nice and broad. At least with the base being broad the way that these are, it gives all these pieces quite a bit of stability. So that way, you know, when you're playing outside or where there's like a windy, they're still gonna not like topple over or anything like that. So that's quite nice. I've had some people recently ask me if I could review more inexpensive chess sets, and this is part of the reason why I made this video, is just for those of you guys that want to get a more diversification as far as what type of inexpensive tournament chess sets are out there, and you know what you guys have as far as choices. And I really wish, if it was up to me right now, I would want to review every single chess set out there for you guys. I feel like if I could go and like work for one of these big chess distributors for like part-time, and just so that I could go in there into their like storage base and just do reviews of every single chess set, I feel like that would be my dream. I would just go in there and review every single set for you guys. That would just be awesome. Unfortunately, you know, all the chess sets that I am able to show you guys, I have to purchase myself, and then it just ends up to where I don't really have the storage for these chess sets. So then I end up figuring out, do I want to try to sell off some of the sets, or do I want to keep them? Because the more chess sets that I get, it's not so much even about the money. It's one, it's the space. I start to run out of space, and two, I start feeling bad because if I get a chess set and I show it to you guys and then I don't necessarily use it as often, then it ends up being to where like, okay, well now I don't necessarily want to get another one just yet because I've already got one last month, and then it sort of, you know, if I could end up finding a way to get some of these chess sets off, somehow sell it or trade it, that would have probably be more kind of a more push for me to get some new ones. The other day I was just sitting there and contemplating, and I just thought, you know, every one of us is just so fortunate right now that in spite of all that's happened, and in spite of the earth having been here so long, we are here right now on this planet, and we're fortunate to be here right now, every one of us. And we, you know, as much as sometimes both you and I could take the life for granted and be so wrapped up about, you know, the small details, we also have to be thankful that, you know, we are here right now and we're alive, and we get to experience this, you know, life for whatever it is right now. And I feel like that's definitely something to always be thankful for, especially with whatever's going on right now with, you know, all the instability. It's always nice to say that, yeah, I'm still alive here and I'm happy. Well, that's about it, my friends. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. Thanks for stopping by. As always, thank you for leaving the wonderful constructive comments. Thank you for leaving those likes. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to stay tuned and stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye bye.